Archie Giant Series Issue 207. Archie's going Christmas shopping with Sabrina out of nowhere. Sabrina tells Archie he should let her buy something for Ronnie. Eventually, we see her open the gift and she sees a partridge in a pear tree. She loves it, fortunately, and the next day, she gets 2 turtle doves and she likes them. Over the next few days, she gets some more animals, and Archie tells Sabrina that her house looks like a bird sanctuary and he's tired of it. But despite being a nice person, she just says Veronica's gonna love the next gift, which is 5 golden rings. She hugs him grateful for the gift, and meanwhile Archie thinks this is putting him in debt, which is why he's not okay with this and the other gifts she ends up getting. She eventually gets some people for gifts. It's convenient that she always says the right things in reference to the song. She refers to the milking ladies the way the song does. I guess that's the spell. But you'd think that part of the spell would be that she wouldn't get tired of the gifts when she starts seeing people show up. And yet she's fed up. But Sabrina uses magic to make her keep opening. She sees some pipers and tells Archie to just buy her gloves next year. I guess she won't actually appreciate that. I don't know why Sabrina's keeping this up. Veronica gets 12 drummers drumming, and the story ends with Veronica struggling to be heard over them. In the comedy page, a kid tries to throw a snowball at Archie and Sabrina makes a comeback towards him, but he dodges and it hits Sabrina instead. You'd think she'd make the snowball move so fast that it wouldn't be something he could dodge, but not so fast that it hurt too much. In the next story, Ethel sees a mall Santa and tells Sabrina that she wishes guys would look at her the way they did the other girls. Sabrina casts a spell to make a guy call Ethel his favorite model while she's wearing an outfit. Sabrina clarifies in her thoughts that this is only happening in Ethel's mind. Ethel gets told that she slinks, and she says she wants to be a real woman and please real men. And Sabrina finally thinks to use magic to make Ethel look beautiful. If she feels like her molecules are shifting, won't the body transformation really hurt? Well, it is magic, so we see Ethel be a movie star. She wants to take the day off and have fun, and then some guys want to do stuff for her, so she tells them to stop. Out of nowhere, an actress that looks kinda weird tells her that she used to be the toast of Broadway in Hollywood. I don't know why she has her head look like that. Then she shows Ethel a shocking newspaper headline that I'm surprised was allowed to be in a kids comic like this. But since Looney Tunes referenced this kind of thing too, and it was a common joke back then as the character's overreaction, I guess it was normal for the time. I guess the reason Ethel saw this woman in a world that Sabrina made up for was that she wanted to convince Ethel that she didn't want to be a popular beauty queen. Ethel, back in reality, says that you can't be beautiful inside if you think you're ugly. What kind of logic is that? That's unfair to a lot of people. She says a cringeworthy line making me assume the story's by Al Hartley again. Pretty sure that was what it meant. That's what in someone's image means, and if it meant something else, it wouldn't have used that phrase. It wouldn't have been translated with that phrase. Ethel states the obvious that what matters is who a person is. And the story ends with an old lady being nice to her and calling her beautiful, which wouldn't happen. I bet this won't be the end of Ethel wishing she was pretty. People do tend to fall back into their old habits a lot. Sabrina's getting ready to open the Christmas present Harvey got for her, and he's surprisingly considerate, telling her that if she doesn't like her present, he could always get her something else. She plans on changing her gift with magic if she doesn't like it. But she's a complete idiot because she changes the look of it and shows it to Harvey right afterwards. So of course he says that's not the gift he gave her. If she was remotely smart, she'd erase his memory of this and make it look normal again. Instead she lies that it's definitely the right shirt. Wouldn't she do what I suggested because it's less hard on him? Hilda gets a gift from Harvey too, which is surprising considering how badly she treats him. She doesn't like the bracelet because she never wears them. Predictably, somehow even she makes Sabrina's mistake, although she doesn't even like Harvey, so it makes sense that she'd want to confuse him. At least she thanks him for the teapot, even if she just conjured it up. And like Sabrina, she lies to him, so he thinks he's all mixed up. This could cause him to try to improve his memory and do a better job of remembering stuff in the future, which would make this all worth it. Zelda doesn't like that she got a sweater because she has a ton of them. He could have just asked them to write down what they wanted. Somehow even she makes Sabrina's mistake and confuses Harvey, even though she's an experienced old witch who doesn't hate Harvey. She uses magic to make it into snow boots. It's smart of them to do, but it's confusingly inconsiderate when he's in the same room. Then Sabrina goes to give Ambrose his gift. Harvey knows what he actually got him, and gets confused by the gift Ambrose says he got. An unfunny joke doesn't get funny after the 4th time. Harvey asks him how he liked the snow muffler he got him, and because he only said muffler, Ambrose makes him unrealistically faint when he says that he really needed a new muffler for his car. I never heard anyone say snow muffler before. If Sabrina loves Harvey, why does she smile like she's trying not to laugh when he falls over? At least nobody used magic right in front of his eyes. They all turned away from him first, at least. The first story is about Sabrina somehow thinking it's a good idea to make the Partridge in a Pear Tree song come true for Veronica, even though it's obvious that nobody would want to get all those people as gifts. So it's a story that makes fun of the song, but it also makes fun of Sabrina. She seems out of character here. In the second story, Ethel becomes a beauty queen, but only in her mind, and she ends up being talked out of wanting that, after she doesn't like that a whole bunch of men want to do stuff for her. So she learns a predictable message, but it's going to be pointless if she goes on to keep complaining about her appearance anyways, which we know she'll do because that's her whole character. The only thing the story had to do with Christmas was that she wished she was beautiful in response to seeing a mall Santa, but she didn't need that as an excuse. And then there's a story where Sabrina's entire family changes the gifts that Harvey gave them in the same room as him, and lied to him that those were the gifts that he got them, without changing his memories. I could understand Hilda wanting him to be confused, but why would the rest of them? In the next story, Sabrina sees a kid make fun of a bad Christmas tree extensively, wasting 2 pages insulting a poor kid before Sabrina uses magic to make it more like a normal Christmas tree. Once the kids hear Sabrina say she was going to teach that kid a lesson and reacts to it, Hilda wastes an entire page nagging Sabrina for using magic for good. At least the 70s Hilda nags her for a reason we're supposed to disagree with and say is ridiculous, instead of the comic expect me to agree with her, like in the 2000s. Eventually, Hilda sees a kid say that someone's a weirdo for believing that Santa made the tree bigger. Not because Santa's not known for having tree-growing powers, but because she believes in Santa. The same lady who hates that Sabrina uses magic for good stands there and gets annoyed that the kid's making fun of them for coming to what she knows is the wrong conclusion, instead of turning the tree back to normal, like she wanted. So she starts to hate him. The little girl somehow wonders who could possibly bring all the presents other than Santa. And Hilda zaps up a Santa, who gives some of them presents but is a dick to the mean kid, not because he'd be on his naughty list, but because he didn't believe in him, even though that was smart of him, because Hilda's the one who conjured this guy up.